Oh, the Knicks just stole Game 3 in Indiana. We're going to talk about how that happened and some of the things that, if you're a Pacers fan, you shouldn't be surprised, but should be a little concerning. Number one, this was a Karl-Anthony Towns game because he came alive in the second half, especially in that third quarter and a little bit of the fourth quarter. He was hitting threes, he was getting fouled, getting in ones, getting into the basket. He scored 24 points. He played amazing in the second half. Now, granted, he still does very stupid stuff like commit idiotic fouls out of nowhere. Like, he shouldn't, like, sometimes the way he gets in foul trouble is crazy. Like, honestly, if we're really going to be honest about it. Also, you had a lineup change. Josh Hart is coming off the bench. So now it's Mitchell Robinson and Karl-Anthony Towns in that front court. So now it's much bigger. So it's going to be a little bit tougher to drive into the rim and get drive and kick out and wide open threes. Mitchell Robinson ain't going for that. And so, and Cat is still a big body at the end of the day. Not only that, the Knicks are 6-1 on the road in the playoffs. They play their best basketball on the road. It's weird because in Madison Square Garden, that's their home, but it doesn't feel like a home game because the Knicks fans are just fans of basketball, if you're being honest. It's more of a spectacle than more like a home court advantage, like a OKC or Indiana or even a Boston, for example. So when their backs is against the wall, you got to remember, Towns and Brunson had 5 fouls. 5. And they still won this game. Why? Because they do a great job on the road closing out quarters. They do a great job closing out quarters. It was a 20-point game. Indiana was leading in the second quarter. And then they cut it down to 13. And then in the third quarter, it got down to 10. You're in a good spot because, again, if you're a Knicks fan, if you're a fan of basketball, and if you saw what happened in the second round, what happened? Boston would easily get up on the Knicks by 20. And what would happen? Live ball turnovers. They're playing it past the lanes. OG Anunoby all of a sudden is like, okay, it's time for me to actually start scoring. So he hits a couple of threes, and then Deuce McBride comes off the bench, gives you a little spark. He only had 9 points, but they were very impactful in the second half. Pascal Siakam picked a good time to become a third option, only scored 17 points after he just scored 39 in Game 2. But that's besides the point. The Knicks are accustomed to being down. The Knicks love coming back. I think this is their third 20-point comeback. Well, no. Because, again, even in Detroit was up on New York, and they will walk them down. Be up Boston, up on New York, walk them down 20-plus points. Because you know why? It isn't just because it says, okay, yeah, they had a 20-point lead. It wasn't like it was a 20-point lead at the end of the third quarter. No, they got up by 20, and then the Knicks will whittle it down to 10 or 12. Or they will whittle it down to 8 or single digits. That's what's misconstruing. You hear the headlines, oh yeah, the Knicks are always keep coming back by 20. The thing is, yes, at some point in the game, they are down by 20. But at the end of the quarter, what are they down by? It's not 20. They're down either by 10, 12, or 8. That's what that is. The Knicks know how to pick up their defense, and they know how to get into survival mode. And Josh Hart got the timely offensive rebounds that helped seal this game. Not only that, Nesmith, I think, changed a little bit as well. He hurt his ankle. So that changed the momentum a little bit for me because he does such a good job fighting over screens. He does a great job on Jalen Brunson. He's the best guard. He's similar to a Asar Thompson. Asar Thompson did a good job on Jalen Brunson. They're very similar. Asar is not a good scorer. Well, he's not a good shooter like Nembhard, like Nesmith could be. But in terms of they have the size, the strength, and the athleticism and the foot quickness and the foot speed to keep up with Brunson. So when he got out the game, it did change the game for me a little bit because now you got Shepherd in there, and he already picked up 2 quick fouls after that. So the Pacers, this happened. Well, they got blown out in the last round, in the last series against Cleveland in Game 3. But you knew the Knicks were going to come back. You knew the Knicks were going to come back and fight, even though the Pacers got up by 20. I didn't really think the game was over because, again, if you watch the Celtics series, that happened a lot. The Celtics would be up by 20, but then the difference was the Celtics would settle for early shot clock threes. Like Derek White, they would shoot the ball like with 18 seconds left on the shot clock. And then the Celtics are so accustomed to running their offense the same way that all of a sudden now OG and Bridges, they're playing the passing lanes, getting down the transition off of the turnover, and now they're hitting wide open threes, in rhythm threes. So with Indiana, what happened was that one, they couldn't hit free throws. I don't know what, like, they couldn't hit free throws. If the Pacers could have hit their free throws, they would be up 3-0. It would be up 3-0. They couldn't hit their free throws. Miles Turner, Siakam didn't shoot well from the free throw line this time. I think a lot of these games, they have been very, very close because I do believe these teams are very, very evenly matched. They're very evenly matched. Karl Towns, to me, is better than Miles Turner. Halliburton and Brunson. Brunson's a better scorer, but Halliburton's a better point guard, period. He's a better pass-first, pure point guard. And then Siakam, when he wants to be, if he can be aggressive, can outplay both Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. But if Siakam was going to be less aggressive, he only shot the ball 13 times. If he's going to be less aggressive, and if he's going to just, be in the flow of the game and not be aggressive and not try to take the game over like he did in Game 2, Indiana's going to have a little bit of a problem because the Knicks are not going to go away. You're going to have to beat them. You have to beat the Knicks. You're not going to you can't expect an easy blowout. You can't expect to get up, once you get up by 20, 25 even, that they're going to just roll over. If anything, that's when they actually start playing basketball. That's when they actually start playing basketball, is when they're down. So if the Indiana Pacers can learn from this in Game 4, they should be up 3-1. But if they get up again, and if they let the Knicks keep doing this again, we're going to have a tied series going back to New York. But again, good job to the Knicks. They did what they had to do. It was survival mode. And for stretches of that first half, again, the first half, you were like, oh yeah, they're going to get right out the building. But this is the Knicks on the road. They're 6-1. They are the best road team right now in the playoffs, remaining still. So if you think they're going to just roll over, you're sadly mistaken. And the Indiana Pacers found out the hard way today. In Game 3, Boston found that out the hard way. Detroit found that out the hard way. They are going to keep fighting. They're going to keep fighting. They're going to keep playing. Their defense and their intensity picks up. Anunoby comes alive. Mikal Bridges comes alive with his mid-range jumper. Josh Hart, his energy, his defense, his offensive rebound. He's the best offensive rebounder for his size that I've seen in this playoffs right now. No lie. Josh Hart is someone that you want on your team 24/7, 365. No doubt. And so is Mitchell Robinson. I am surprised that Indiana Pacers did not do a hack and Mitch. I'm very surprised they didn't do hack and Mitch because I know he's a terrible free throw shooter. But that aside, there's going to be some stuff that Indiana Pacers are obviously going to look to clean up, and we'll see what happens in Game 4. But again, it was a good game. I enjoyed the second half. It was a good win by the Knicks, and we'll see what happens in Game 4.